I started something a few years ago when I was in grad school called Sweet Mother. And basically, Sweet Mother Tour, SMT we called it, was a way that I, as an artist, as a musician, could connect with other musicians back home, and then we could start amplifying our collective voices. So what we did is we started in the summer of 2003 with just making some music. I took a team of musicians that I was working with in my band Soulfege out to Accra, and we worked with one of the top producers in the country, a guy named Panji Anoff, who's the founder of the Pigeon Rhythm Collective and is one of the pioneering producers in the hip life movement. And we basically just produced a record. We came back home, we worked on it some more, finished it up. We went back the following year, and I brought a team. First I took 6. The next year I took 20. And we
Wow.
stayed at this place called the Kokrobite Institute, which I've been working with they basically do programs teaching young people about like African arts and culture, kids from Africa, from Europe, and from the United States. And I've been doing some work with them, and we came and we stayed there, and we worked with some of these kids, and we shot a music video that was fusing high life with dancehall and hip hop, and really giving a diasporic sound to it. But we shot it on the streets of Accra. Meanwhile, we took a documentary crew and we started shooting all these little clips of what young people there felt was the influence of Western culture and hip hop culture on their lives. We took that video, we came back to the U.S., we edited it, and we released it in Accra. And we formed this little network of young people that were going to promote these ideas and images that represent Africa as we see ourselves, not starving and hungry and hopeless, but as powerful and beautiful and hopeful. And we released the video, not in the West. We released it in Ghana. And the first month we came out, the video charted number 4 in the country after R. Kelly, Usher, Beyonce, then our band, Soulfege. And everyone was like, what the, how did you do, what? We're like, "Oh, you know what I'm saying? We got peoples, you know what I mean? Next thing you know, we're airing in South Africa, in Mnet, on Mnet. Then we're airing in Jamaica, RETV, TVJ. Then we get picked up by Channel O. Then the BBC World Service is covering us. Next thing you know, we're on MTV Africa. And in the space of about 4 months, we're airing in over 50 different countries. And this is with no record label, no PR company, no management company, just us. And I'm still in grad school. And how did we do it? We did it by leveraging the resources that were available to us, a network of young Africans who wanted to see themselves. And when I say Africans in this instance, I mean of the whole diaspora, Caribbean, Latin American, African American, East African, West African, South African, who just wanted to see themselves represented beautifully and with honor. And they put the word out, and people latched onto it. And so that SMT we built further, and we held a conference called Youth in the New Pan-African Renaissance, Rebuilding Africa for the 21st Century. We held it at Harvard University, and we had people come in from across the United States as far as California and Hawaii. We had people come from Kenya and Rwanda. We had people come from Ghana and Jamaica and the UK. And we sat down and we broke down, hey, what are ways in which we can collaborate and make a difference for our community? And, I mean, to this day, I'm working with people that we met through that conference. One of the gentlemen, I was on a call with him last night, who's in D.C., about some projects that we can do together. A number of us won fellowships to TED last year and are now part of the development of this African TED community. And so I've really, and with the exception, I didn't go last year, but pretty much every year I go home and I either do a recording project or something that will put money into the community back home and will take some of the culture out to be marketable in the West. We are releasing a record on July 15th that features one of the top MCs in Ghana, the founder of the hip life movement, and his name is Reggie Rockstone. It also features a Grammy-winning artist named Bounty Killer from Jamaica. And, through our artistry, we're exposing the world to an Afropolitan sound and image. And then through our activism, we're engaging other Africans in dialogue about how do we build upon our existing resources and create more for ourselves and for our homeland.
Wow. So how did your band get together? How did Soulfege get started?
Well, all of the core members, the 3 of us that really founded it are myself, Jonathan Gramling, and Kelly Nicole. And, basically, John and I were in college together, and we sang in a choir called the Kumba Singers. And when we graduated, we were like, we've had a wonderful time. We sang in the choir, we sang in an a cappella group within it, and we believed that we could, do music professionally. At the same time, there's this lovely girl named Kelly who was in college at the time after we had left. And so she was in that same choir. And, you know, we all got invited as part of the choir, this undergraduates and some of the key alumni, about 20 of us, were invited to sing with Bobby McFerrin at this big concert in Germany, and 20,000 people, and it was so gorgeous. And we did that, and then we subsequently got invited to play with him at City Hall. I'm sorry, at oh gosh, I'm forgetting the name of it, but it's like this big concert hall in Boston, and it was wonderful and so exciting. And so a few of us were looking at our professional music and how we were developing. We were saying, you know, we really want to do something together. And so Jonathan, myself, and Kelly, along with a couple of other friends, some of whom are no longer working with us, but we also acquired some new people as we went. We started a band. We called it Soulfege, and we wanted to make music that could make us feel good, that was hot, it was funky, it had grooving beats, but it was also intelligent. It was not disrespectful. It was something that, you know, my mother could hear and not be embarrassed. Something that I could play when I go back home to Africa, and it would make people feel good about themselves and not like, oh, this boy has gone and gotten lost. Something that would move beyond thugs and hoes, but that would still have love and respect for hip-hop culture. And that is the creation of what we call Afro-diasporic groovalicious funkadociousness, which is effectively our sound. More simply put, Afropolitan fusion. It's like if Bob Marley were kicking it with the Fugees on a street corner in West Africa. That's Soulfege. And,
Wow.
And that's how the band was born.
So how many records have you put out so far?
We put out one record that under our name a couple of years ago that received a lot of critical acclaim, but we didn't know a lot about how to sell it to a global audience. And so we actually wound up getting a ton of media attention out of it, though. I mean, at this point, virtually every major media outlet in Boston, ABC News, the Boston Herald, the Boston Globe, NPR, they've all covered us at some point. And then I was recruited by a very famous producer called Dave Stewart, who is best known as half of the Eurythmics, Dave Stewart and Annie Lennox. He's the guy who wrote like Sweet Dreams, Are Made of This, and all of that. He recruited me out here based on some of the writing I did in grad school and how we were using those theories to promote ourselves worldwide. He asked me to join his company and help to build some models for launching some new next generation media companies. And we did that, and I learned a lot and had a wonderful time. And then I left in February to really drill down on this new record because Soulfege got signed to a wonderful label started by some senior guys in the recording industry, one multi-platinum producer, another guy who was a senior executive at one of the major labels. And that's where we built this new record, and it comes out in July. So there are two records that we've got. First one was called Heavy Structured Plus, which is available on iTunes. And then the next one is called Take Back the Mic, and that will be debuting on iTunes 2 weeks from today, July 15th.
And what's the music industry been like? I mean, especially now that the whole gangster hip hop thing is big. 50 Cent is the definition of what the industry should be. As in, how is the industry reacting to you?
Well, you know, it's funny because the industry as we all knew it is dead. And we saw it coming a while ago, which is why we never wanted to sign with a record label until now. And the deal that we signed is with an